Hey guys, how's it going? This is Ed from Mission Impossible. Thanks for joining the stream. All right, so to start off, we have for drinking today. My wife picked up these bombers of this organic strawberry ale. It's actually a product of England, so I don't know if you guys could see it on there, but cheers wherever you happen to be. Pay no attention that it's pretty early in the afternoon for me, but whatever. So let's see. So today we have it should be a pretty good stream. We have 10 games like as per usual, and but today we actually have a game that just got released yesterday by a guy by the name of Jonathon Thomas, as well as other people, and it's the Lotus Esprit Turbo Challenge. The STE version. So we'll get to that later on in the stream. But it's definitely looking forward to going through that one. Yeah, so as per usual, if you're new here, please be sure to hit like, especially at the beginning of the video. It really helps to hype the video up. But until then, let's see. Also, a couple of announcements. One, typically, I interact with the chat in between gameplay. So yeah, and some people will shout out like, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? And typically while I'm playing the game, I don't pay attention too much to the chat. I kind of pay attention to what I'm doing in the game. Another thing is I'm not the greatest at these games. The idea isn't to show you a perfect run through on any of these games. It is basically to show you kind of my impressions of the game, pretty cold. I make sure that the games work, beforehand, but that's about it. Let's see, what else can I say? I play the games about 10 minutes each. Plus or minus. If the game is a real dud, I don't get a full 10 minutes in there. If it's more involved, then I will go longer, but I try to keep it, relatively short. Okay, so let's get this going. So we have first game on the list is called StarRay. Oh, also, if there's any audio issues or any issues with the stream, definitely let me know. Okay. Good evening from Europe. Hello, Time Media Video. Appreciate you joining. Okay. All right, let's get this going. So, gonna switch, and we got StarRay. Oh wow, it's sweet, but it's good. Okay. Kind of cool. Right off the bat, we have some sampled music, which is always appreciated. It's sounds pretty good. Don't really need to go through the whole thing. It actually has lyrics. StarRay. Okay, wow. That's funny. You hardly ever see or ever hear lyrics in a game soundtrack like this. So, alrighty, let's skip ahead. And of course, we get rid of the sampled music and go to the synthesized stuff. All right. So this is basically it looks like it's a reimagining of Defender, with much better graphics and. It's much easier to control. One of the issues that I have had always with Defender, is the fact that the controls are really hard for me to get used to, especially since you have to hit a button usually in the arcade to switch directions. And I don't know why, because I never played it really in the arcade very long. And, one day I was like going, you know what? I'm going to get better at Defender. And I tried a lot, and it didn't work. I didn't ever get really any better. I mean, which is kind of rare for me. I normally am. Okay, just had to hit this pause button. Spacebar is pause. Okay. So I just want to see if there was a smart bomb or something. Okay. I like the parallaxing. It's definitely nice. Gives a good sense of depth. Whoa, that was something fast. So these look like traffic cones. I guess they are. They look like them. I guess I'll shoot the traffic cones. I'm not sure. Oh, that. Oh, okay. Wave 1 completed. Bonus 110. Okay. So these sort of look like. Oh, there's power-ups, I think. These sort of look like balloons. It's kind of weird. Hot air balloons or something. Whoa. Some of these guys get going really fast. Music's not bad. They actually used the chip well. Oh, it didn't. Oh, it got destroyed. That's interesting. It looked like it was a power-up. So it looks like I've got, instead of lives, I've got a health bar, which I actually got to say I prefer. It gives you a lot more slop, I guess, when you're playing a game, to not have to worry about getting hit by every little thing. I mean, yeah, if you're doing badly and hitting everything, then you're gonna, your bar's gonna go way down fast. But it's kind of hard to see. I will say that really hard to see the ship on the background. They did blue on blue, which is not ideal. Especially really hard to see when you go down low here. So I probably should. I'm not seeing anything that's actually picking up people like it would be in Defender. Guess I'm just. Whoa. Oh, I think maybe because I'm almost dead. It's getting black. Okay. Okay. Installation's gone. Oh. Oh, I guess I wasn't supposed to destroy those. Okay. Maybe not shooting your own stuff. So it would be a good. Let's see if I can fit mission. My guess is it won't fit, but we'll try. Wow, it actually fit. Awesome. Okay. Let's try that again. So maybe not destroying the traffic cones thing. Which I'm guessing are your bases slash, I guess it did say installations. But I think that's what the bad guys are actually trying to destroy. So maybe I won't go that low and destroy my own. That'd probably be a pro gamer move. So it looks like they come down and then they kind of crawl over to the base instead of just coming straight down to get to the base. Which is not bad. Gives me a chance to get down there and shoot them at least. Okay, cool. Wave 1 completed. Bonus. All right. So let me try using the... whoa, that's a lot. Try using the radar to see what I need to destroy here. Like a Defender game, I think that the background, while it looks really good, I kind of feel like it maybe has a little too much going on, just because there's not a lot of contrast, especially since there's blue in all of the components, all of the stuff on the screen, all the sprites, so it's not super easy to tell things apart. That would be my really only gripe, to be honest. The music's good. Destroyed my own base. Okay, don't do that. It's kind of weird they use, like, they do look like traffic cones. Like the really big ones that you're trying to, on the highway that block traffic. Let's go back the other way, since that's where all the guys are. Could almost kind of just go through and just maybe almost not quite. I was trying to look at the radar and just shoot the whole way. Sure, this is gonna get old. All right, that's StarRay. I kind of dig it. You know, it's pretty basic, but as far as what they were trying to do, I think they accomplished it. Not quite sure what the high scores that were automatically added were representing, but in any case, I think that's probably good for StarRay. Okay, let's check the chat. Oh, wow. Okay. Ooh, yay, Atari ST. Yes, Gary Pinkett. Yes, we've been doing Atari ST live streaming for the last almost a month now. The Atari ST was probably my favorite of the computers that I had growing up. I since do not have my original, the actual hardware that I had back in the day. So today I do emulation, takes up a lot less space, but I really enjoy the ST. The DM, actually, Brandy D. Hello, Brandy D. How are you? The DM, hello, and hitting a button to switch directions? No, gross. That's the way it was. And to be honest, I don't know if it was unique. I mean, that and Stargate, which was the sequel. For me, it was just really hard to make that distinction of saying, okay, I want to go that way, so hit a button. Didn't really work for me. And I mean, I think to be honest, it's probably one of the reasons why people have issues playing with Defender, myself included. Let's see, Gary, the motion when you change direction is a bit annoying, which I never noticed playing this game in my teens. My older eyes may be disliking now. Oh, so you've played it before. I actually had not played it before, really before this stream. It's not bad. I think the biggest issue that I had with it is the contrast. The blue on blue, it's really hard to kind of differentiate. I think they still did a decent job with it. Steve from Atari Crypt. Hey, ST Nutters. Hey, Steve from Atari Crypt. Thanks for joining. And hi, Steve. Oh, okay. It's Thomas. Hey, Steve. Thomas from Frogs Randomizer. Yes. Thank you, Thomas, for joining. Okay. Let's see. And then more talk about the pushing a button to change direction. Yeah, it was weird. I mean, back when Defender came out, there wasn't a whole lot of prior art, I guess, for doing something like that. So the developers, I guess, just said, hey, let's just do it this way. The other thing that was interesting about the joystick in the arcade was that you had a button and your controller actually just went up and down. It was not a 4-way controller. It was a 2-way controller. It is a 2-way controller. And so the idea is that, you have to go up and down and hit a button to go and then a button to switch directions. Totally bizarre, way of controlling things in this day and age. And Rage and Love 72. Hello, Rage and Love 72. Thank you for joining. Okay. For those who've just joined, be sure to hit the like button for me. I'd really appreciate it. It gets the hype train going on this game or on this stream. Alrighty. Let's get on to the next game. So Phantasie. So I have been a fan of RPG games for a really long time. Back when I started playing games, I really glommed on to RPGs, especially since, I played a lot of, Dungeons and Dragons and things like that. And it was always a cool thing to be able to play it on the computer. Phantasie is one that I actually never played growing up. I had heard of it, but I had never played it. It's an SSI game, which they made a lot of good games. And I definitely know this was a popular game. One thing that's interesting to me from an ST point of view is the fact that they actually used gem. So you see the B pop up every once in a while. It's going to enter the data disk, which is already in there. So one of the things that I've done already is I have created a party just because that's one of those things that in an RPG, it takes a while to do, especially if you want to try to get good stats and all that stuff. So I'm going to actually say, continue my save. But that's all I've really done. We have, I've went to the inn and I created this party with Squiggy, Bob, Dave, Rick, and Tim. And you can actually, like, if I go into the guild, we can see, we can look at inspect each one of these guys. So we have Squiggy is a gnome wizard. Bob is an elf ranger. Dave is a dwarven priest. Rick is a human fighter, and Tim is a halfling thief. And there's actually a couple of pre-generated characters that I'm not messing with. Okay, so I have a party created. So let's see what I need to do now. Okay, so we can go into the armory, maybe. We gotta exit the guild. Okay, so who will shop? I guess we're gonna make sure that Rick has some sort of armor or something. So we have cash 0. Okay, then. Not having any money makes it kind of hard to shop, so I won't do that. Okay, so we have cast, town options: cast spell, use item, print out, show party. So I think we did that already. Yep. Bank. Let's see. Do we have to take out some money? Withdraw. Who will withdraw? Oh, interesting. So they actually start with a certain amount of money here. So that's interesting. Okay, so you can actually take money out of the bank to go shopping. That's interesting. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Either you start with a certain amount of money, or you start with nothing and then you have to find stuff. So we actually we're rolling now. So let's see if I can buy some stuff. Let's go in and let's see, Rick. So if we, oh wow, there's actually, okay, so you can buy magic 1, scroll 8. Okay, so Rick is shopping. So let's get him a small shield and maybe a mace. All right. And then, oh wow, so there's only a certain amount of these things. Interesting. Okay. Let's go with another shopper. Let's go with Squiggy. See if he can buy. I don't know what this magic 1 is. Magic 1. Let's see. Scroll 8. Don't know what that is, but not a problem. Let's get the dwarven priest. Oh wow. Okay. Oh, okay. So we can get him a shield. So looks like everybody can buy a shield. And clothing, that might be good. I bought a knife, but I don't know if he can actually use that since he's a priest. Let's see. Tim, the halfling thief. Let's definitely get him some stuff here. Clothing, knife, dagger, sure. And let's probably have Rick get some clothing too, because don't want him to be naked. That's a whole other game. Let's see. Bob the Elf Ranger. It doesn't look like there's any arrow or bows in here. So I'll just get him some knife and a dagger. I'm not sure what the difference between a knife and a dagger is, but that's pretty good. What's this? The wise old mystic peers into his crystal ball, and speaks. Your score is 2. You are novice adventurers. Okay, so there's actually a score involved. Interesting. All right, let's take off. Leaving Pelnor. Okay, so this looks very much like a Ultima type game, overworld. Let's see if I can. Where are my guys? Is this Pelnor? Where are we? Oh no, there we are. You are on a path. To the east lies a small town. Okay. Right click. Can I inspect? Stay out. Inspect member. Let's see. I want to see if I need to equip something. Equipment. Club, robe, small shield. So it looks like you actually start with some things. All right. So it doesn't look like I need to equip them. At least not right away. Okay. Cool. Well, I'm not going to worry about it then. Okay, let's see if we can get into some trouble here. That noise is kind of annoying. To the west is a building called the Red Pony Inn. Sure, let's go check it out. An inn. Enter? Sure. In the inn, they're all resting from a hard day of walking 5 feet. Okay. Let's keep cruising along here, I guess. Uh-oh. Battle. All right. So it looks like my guys are on the bottom. The bad guys are up here. So beg for mercy. Threaten. Greetings. Fight or flee. Well, we can try greetings. Monsters don't respond. Okay. Fight. Okay, let's see what the fight does. All right. Fight. So that's interesting. So do we change? So we can change what they do. Actually, I think I want to have Squiggy parry because he doesn't have any. I don't think he has any way to attack, but because he's a spellcaster. So let's try attack or thrust. Scribe. A scribe? That doesn't sound like a monster. Okay. So what's interesting is they didn't do it to where it's totally turn-based. They made it so that you can just kind of go through. Oh, and it saves what it's doing. Okay. That's cool. Let's see what happens now. Monsters killed. Each survivor gets 100 XP and something gold. Okay. Not bad. I always kind of get a little worried because of... Let's see, can I go further over? Uh-oh. Oh, it's loading. Okay. Oh, okay. These guys look bad. Worse. Well, I guess let's fight. And this might end up... thrust at rank 1. That's kind of cool. Let's make him cast something. Fire Flash. Okay, so I don't have to worry about exactly what I'm doing as far as... Okay, so these are orcs. Uh-oh, Dave died. Uh-oh, that's bad. Squiggy casts a spell. Okay, this is not looking good, I gotta say. Well, fight or flight here. Let's just do some fighting here. Orcs missing, that's a good thing. Okay, that didn't do a whole lot. I don't want to beg for mercy. I just want to keep fighting. All right, let's see what we can do. Well, a couple of them are dead. Oh, and Squiggy's dead. This is going to be a fast fight. It's not looking good, I got to say. Okay. Should I try begging for mercy? They've killed 2 of my guys. Monsters stop and take your gold. Interesting. Oh, I should have put gold in the bank. That's interesting. They stop fighting you and they take your gold. That's not bad. Sign reads Pelennor 270 miles east. Oh, wow. So this is a big open area then. Oh, that was too fast. You can change the speed. Let's see what we have in here. A town. Enter. Yes. It's kind of an annoying loading thing, kind of seizure-inducing. Shares for Squiggy. Oh, interesting. So you can divvy up your plunder here. Well, Squiggy died, so he gets nothing. Bob gets 1 share. Dave, I don't remember. Dave, I think, died. Rick, I'm going to give him 2 shares. And Tim, I'm going to give him 2 shares. Why not? Each share is 0 gold because they took it all. And the experience. Okay. So you can divvy up the experience as opposed to just automatically giving to them. Okay. So show party. All right. So we got Squiggy and Dave are dead. Okay. All right. So anything? We can go into the guild. And, you can do some training. Let's train Rick to be a better fighter. Oh, okay, interesting. You need 207 more experience points. Okay. So it's a style where you gain experience points and then you have to use them to train up. Okay. Can't do any of that because we don't have enough experience. So yeah, actually this isn't bad. I was worried about a little bit being too much into the minutia, which a lot of the games like Ultima and stuff, which people love and I used to love, but these days saying I want to hit this very, very strategic, whereas this is more like fast battle. That if you're going to be in a lot of battles, that actually is pretty helpful. All right, let me get out of here. That's probably enough for Phantasie. Okay, what do we got over here in chat? All right. Ooh, okay, let me keep going back here. All right. Oh wow, SSI. I don't think I've seen this one before. Yeah. It is. It's actually not bad. I being a fan of RPGs, playing some of the old ones can be a little challenging, but it actually wasn't too bad. I need this boxed. Yeah. Back in the day when I used to collect stuff, it's trying to get everything in actual physical form. That's it's challenging, especially getting an actual boxed copy of stuff. It's always fun. Let's see. Steve says, my young daughter laughs at games like this. I find their potential fascinating. I'm old. Well, join the club. For me, I always look at, I have to look at the games in the time that they were released. If you base it off of what we have today, there's really no comparison. I mean, these days games, obviously they do things differently. But it's really just, you have to take the age into account. I mean, this game came out in 1985. So what is that, 35 years ago, almost, 36 years ago. That's a really long time. So, the fact that we had games that sophisticated 30 years ago is still pretty cool, I think. Let's see. So the DM, since I only know 5e, is a priest, a cleric, and a thief or rogue, or at least effectively. Yeah. Back in the day, they used to call them priests. They've gone back and forth between cleric and priest. And of course, this isn't based off of, actual Dungeons and Dragons. It's based off of whatever they wanted to create. So yeah, obviously there's, in most RPGs, there's a certain type of healer class, versus fighter versus, thief class and stuff like that. But okay. I see no reason to knock old games. I have a few I play quite often, like Joe and Mac. The graphics might be a little dated, but that doesn't make them not fun. Yeah, I personally, the graphics aspect, it's one of those things that, I mean, yeah, there's some that are better than others. But to me, I usually I work on, or I really judge them based on the playability. And if I have fun, if I find myself hating it, then I'm not going to be in, obviously don't want to keep playing it, but I've played some games that don't look that great, but they have such a deep, set of rules or whatever, to where it's like, oh, okay, well, this has got a lot of stuff going on. And the fact, like with this, it's cool because, it's a different system than a lot of other games use. And it's kind of cool to me to see that being utilized as opposed to the traditional stuff that we see, today. Let's see. Well, NetHack is still one of my most played games. Yes, I love NetHack, but although I have to kind of go with Rogue personally. I still play Rogue occasionally, and I actually have delusions. No, not delusions. I have aspirations of actually making some roguelikes on, on the 2600 or the Atari 8-bit. The ST would be pretty trivial, but it would still be fun to make. Just because I've always loved the idea of procedurally generated worlds. These days, everybody and their brother is making roguelikes, but they use that term kind of loosely. Yeah, as far as the fact that it's procedurally generated. One of the things I loved in NetHack though was the fact that you could have a pet, which is pretty awesome. Okay. Let's see. Agree. Steve says, I agree. I never got over Rogue myself. Yeah. Never got over it. Yeah. For old gamers, I'm not sure you do. I think it's one of those things that you always come back to Rogue. And, it's funny when I've kind of tried to, teach young people about the game, games and even game development and stuff like that, showing Rogue is one of those things that personally it's like, yeah, the graphics are letters and stuff. And it's not, there's no graphics to speak of, but it's fun. It's one of those things. It's challenging. It's a different game every time. It's one of those things I think most modern gaming truly kind of, owes a lot to Rogue. Rogue and Zork, or originally called Adventure, those games were the foundation for a lot of our modern games. Let's see, nothing modern on Steam that comes close to the ST game. Yeah, I do remember playing Rogue on the ST. I'm gonna have to actually look it up and fire it up at some point. I have played some of like the Temple of Abshai games, which are kind of similar, if I remember right. I definitely, it would be cool to kind of go through and play some of the other adaptations of Rogue. Okay. Let's see. This is, I skipped. Sorry. This is quite brutal. LOL. Yeah. I noticed that, coming up like all these orcs, right off the bat, that was pretty hard. Now, I don't know if I didn't have a bigger party or if I should have prepped more. Hard to say as far as what strategy wise, if I wasn't as good as what I should have been, but whatever. I was surprised. The first one I was like, all right, this seems reasonable. The scribes, I don't know why that's a monster, but the orcs, yeah, that was pretty hardcore. Let's see. I always find these games quite hard to start, but once you get over the initial learning curve, it all falls into place. Yeah, definitely. At the very beginning, yeah, I think those kind of games you have to start over a bunch of times until you get the hang of it. Let's see. Let's see. I grew up seeing these games like this, so I think they're great. Though I definitely know people around my age who think very differently. Yeah, I know a lot of people have a hard time playing some of these old games and just, oh my God, why would you play that? For me, the reason why I like the old games is because today, when excluding indie titles, if you're talking about AAA commercial titles, they're always so afraid to take risks. It's kind of like Hollywood in that the games cost so much money to make. They're only interested in making stuff that is absolutely going to be profitable for them. And back in, these days, they didn't have hundreds and thousands of people working on games. You had a very small team. And so your overhead was much smaller. So they could take risks. It was the Wild Wild West. They didn't have like all of these things that we kind of take for granted today. And I really love kind of especially seeing some concepts and mechanics that you don't see today. And those are always kind of neat to me when I see something that you don't see now, just because for whatever reason it fell out of favor or it just wasn't popular or whatever. And it hasn't been used. And to be honest, as a game developer, I'm always looking for those. I'm always looking for a little nugget of, some mechanic that isn't being used. And it's like, oh, wow, wouldn't it be cool if we used, some mechanic from XYZ game back in 85 or something and put it out and be like, oh my God, I can't believe that this is such a cool thing. It's like, yeah, it's nothing new. It's just hasn't been seen in 30 years. Okay. Let's see. Gary Pinkett. I really want myself to like this type of game. This is Grid Leader Retro. Thanks for joining, by the way. Really want to like this type of game, but I just don't have the patience for the learning curve. Yeah. These days, I like it, but for me, like that's a long game. I mean, that's not a game that you can just crank out in an hour or two. That's trying to devote that much time to an old game. it's a bit of a stretch, especially with so much stuff that's new and exciting today. So I totally get you there. For me, I like to try to sample it and try to get the nuggets out of it and figure out how the mechanics work, and then kind of move on. Let's see. I love the idea of exploring a landscape, interacting with characters and fighting battles, but it's such a chore in reality. Yeah, isn't that funny? It's I have this saying where it's like, I want to like that or whatever, or I want to like that. But you know, it's certain things that you don't. It's like, I always talk about, like, reading books in Skyrim, for example. It's like, I want to read those, but I never do, because it's just like, I'll read one of them and be like, okay, that's cool. Next one. And then we get the 100th one. It's like, yeah, whatever. Open it. Make sure you don't have any, it's not special, but it's just like, it's reality, and what you want to do actually can differ. Okay. Let's get on to the next game here. Okay. So the next one is IK Plus. International Karate Plus. There we go. Okay. I'll get back to the chat in a few. So growing up, I absolutely loved, karate and kung fu movies and all that stuff. So, and obviously most people probably watching this were in the same boat. I mean, it was always such a cool thing. And, so, karate games are, fighting games, I should say, were no exception to that. I really dig all of the trippy, like, I don't know, I guess the psychedelic things with all the fighting guys. That's actually really cool. Oh, interesting. So it actually has a bunch of keys that do things. So this is, it's a 3-player game, which is interesting. And I think, it's like, I think the computer controls 2 of them. But it's just chaotic, just 3 guys fighting. I think they were just trying to go for like, just sort of like a street fight, which is people are just trying to beat up each other. And I'm not doing so well. I'm in white, by the way. I love the flips. The flips always, anytime you can do a flip in a game, it's awesome. I don't care who you are. White did well, but has not qualified. Oh, practice is definitely recommended. I think you have to get 2nd place to continue on to the next level. So we'll try again here. All right. Another thing that's cool is that oh, well, check out the Pac-Man. That was neat. All right. Nice little Easter egg there or whatever. I love the samples. It's great to have, real sounds when you're fighting and stuff. That's just definitely a cool thing. The flips, yeah, absolutely. I could flip all day long, just because it's just so cool. Now, one thing that's interesting is, so I never really played or had these kind of games growing up, just for whatever reason. But I always used to love in the arcade Karate Champ. That was such, especially the 2-player version where you have, each player has 2 controllers, and they did a really good job with making it so that, one controller does like movement and the other controller does your actual like punches or kicks and stuff. It's really hard to make a game that has so many different options, like for kicks and punches, with a single controller, and they actually seem to be doing a pretty good job here, and it'd be great if I actually knew what I was doing. Let's see. So looks like diagonal, white is out. Oops. Diagonal does a punch. I think the other diagonal does the flip. Really love the graphics here with the background. very, very, oh wow, that's kind of neat. It's got a little like, it's got all these little like things that are you don't, they're in the background and you don't notice it. And it's just little things I think that the programmer put in just to make it interesting. Like bird flying across the screen, that was kind of neat. But there was a little periscope that came up and it was going around. It's so easy to miss. And of course, if you're fighting, you're not paying attention to that stuff. But just while I was sitting there waiting, I was like, oh, wow, this is cool. Let's see. So yeah, for me, one of the things that I really got into was I got into fighting games, back when I went to college. And for me, it was Mortal Kombat. That was my the game that I spent way too much time on, and money. Oh, that's kind of funny. You can like skip along this. There's actually a lot of moves you can do in this. Typically, they really limit how many moves you can do. I guess just from the point of view of controlling it. Be interesting to try taking this and doing things with better controls. In that it's a little awkward just having up, down, left, right, and button. But loving the sound effects, loving the graphics. I know this was like a major game for the Commodore. This was like, I know it was like a very top 10 game. It's kind of cool. You have a headbutt too. All kinds of cool moves. I should try to actually do better at this game. Well, what I usually do, and maybe I need to just hit like 2-player game or something, to actually like be able to fight without worrying about dying. This is actually kind of neat. The little bonus stage I dig where you're trying to block this stuff. One of the things that's funny is it has like a head, like a little guy's head comes rolling out, which is kind of crazy. The amount of little things that they put in this game that are kind of, I don't know, whimsical, whatever you want to call it. They try to make it fun and exciting. Oh wow, that was bad. I haven't heard that one before. Okay. All right. Did not qualify. Practice is definitely recommended. Oh, we get the jump kick. Oh, there's a spider. That was cool. There's actually a lot of stuff going on as far as all the different stuff, as far as like being able to block. Okay, white stays in, finally. Let's turn the right way. Come on, get up, get up, get up. Music's good. White is out. Okay. Well, it's pretty much the same thing. I know there's other stages and stuff, but I actually really enjoy this. I think that, I think that it'd be better served with better controls. And it would be kind of interesting to try to, remap controls for an old game like this, but definitely interesting. It's a little different than the standard fighter games. So, all right, let's get back to the chat. All right, okay. Wow, I'm gonna have to get caught up here. Okay, yeah. Graphics never matter. Gameplay, yeah. I'm right there with you. I mean, it is nice to have good graphics, but it's definitely not a requirement. Let's see. I did get into a Lords of Chaos demo. Yeah, I'm trying to think if I ever played Lords of Chaos. It's one of those things that I obviously I kind of go through and try to pick games in here, either randomly or things that I hear about and it's like, oh, I should check that out. So I might have to add Lords of Chaos. I'm always wanting to develop a roguelike. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but it's just always been on my list. AAA titles are all hot garbage anymore. If I play anything new, it's more than likely an indie game, Valheim, Hollow Knight, Cuphead. Yeah, there's some AAA games I like, but for the most part, I like indies. Lords of Chaos. So Julian Gollop. Okay. So we're talking about Chaos here. So Julian Gollop is the guy that wrote the original Chaos on the Spectrum. And then Martin Brownlow made the Chaos version on the ST, which I played a whole lot of. So Lords of Chaos, is that the modern remake of it? Actually, that definitely, I know a lot about Chaos. That's why I'm like going, oh, I didn't realize it was the same thing. What software are you using to select the games? Which emulator? Oh yeah. By the way, Chris Warchin, thank you for joining. The software that I'm using is called Playnite. I have been into emulation for a really long time and have tried out countless front ends for emulators, and actually have written my own too. And I've always wanted something that is just clean and it just works. And Playnite is a relatively new one, and I'm actually really enjoying it. I actually have set up Atari 2600, Atari 8-bit, and ST. I actually haven't even messed with MAME or anything else, which most people deal with the front end and they go right to MAME. I also set up Steam. That was another thing. You can set up the Steam store as the Steam with an A, Valve Steam, Steam store, as well as Epic. And it actually will load those in automatically, which was really awesome. What I wanted was one front end to rule them all. And I wanted to have it joystick based and have it be just clean. I never want to have to mess with a mouse if I don't have to. And the emulator I'm using is called Steam with 2 E's, as in STEEM. And it's the Steven Seagal edition, which is the SSE. I think it's 4.1. I can't remember the first number, but it's the latest version. So let's see. Archer McLean for the win. I'm not familiar with that reference. Steve, I have to go. Really enjoyed this. Do more. Enjoyed the chat after the games. Take care all. Steve, thanks for joining. I really appreciate it. Hopefully see you in the next one. Okay. Gary Pinkett, take care. See ya. Thanks for stopping by. Blah, blah, blah. Yes, the ST remake has the alien. Oh, okay. Interesting. No, older 8-bit games, same guy. Oh, okay. Cool. So I guess we're talking about Lords of Chaos there. So, okay. I'll have to check that out though. All right. Caught up on the chat. Just a reminder, if you guys have not, I would really appreciate it if you hit the like button. I forget to say it all the time, so I'm just don't want to say it every, I don't want to be belaboring it, but really appreciate it. Okay, let's get on to the next one. So we have Rings of Medusa. This one, I fired it up and it looked interesting. And I haven't played it enough to know exactly what I'm supposed to be doing in it, but we'll see what's going on. I had a conversation with a friend of mine recently that he said that I should be, focusing on actually showing you how to play these games. And I personally feel like I'm giving more of a fresh perspective on the games. Yes, sometimes I'm floundering around, sure, but I think I enjoy giving it like kind of a first impressions. Okay, creating game world, that's always a good sign. Okay, so let's see, is it mouse based? It's mouse based. Okay, so we can, so we have our little, looks like a little pond. Can I go across this forest? Oh, that's kind of neat. A little boat going there. That looks like a bit rough to get to that town. Okay. All right. So unless this is unpassable. It looks like it may be unpassable. All right. Hills. Okay. Dense forest. Open plain. Okay, that's kind of neat. Alright, so let's check out this castle here. Maybe I have to click on something. Alright. Options. What's this? So we got buttons that are grayed out. What's this? You have no conveying system. Okay. Okay, sir, we're looking for raw materials. Okay, so I guess they're hunting for stuff. That's interesting. What does the options do? So we have money. Okay. So sync 60 hertz, music on, effect off. Okay. Code music. Okay. Interesting. A little dedication there. Okay. What is your... It's blinking at me. Calculating open plane. Okay. Why does it keep blinking at me? That's weird. I think I got to a city before. Let's see, can I cross the river? Doesn't look like I can. Oh, it's kind of interesting. It has coordinates. Huh. Maybe I have to go... Ah! You can't go in from the side. Ah, interesting. You, son of the evil king, have no access to the city of Medusa. Alright then. I guess I can't go in there. Music's good. Okay. I'm trying to click off of this. Why won't it let me? Spacebar? Nope. Actually, the music's actually really good. Alright. So, I'm not sure what to do here. Sure, we're attacking. I'm guessing I'm attacking. Sorry, you lost. Okay. Alright. So I guess, I guess maybe I have to go around the mountains here. Let's see if I can go. It's getting stuck on the water. Alright, so now maybe I can go into the town there. Ah. You are standing in front of Hawk Crest. Attack? No. So this is kind of weird. The buttons look like they're grayed out, but actually I guess they're not. I don't want to attack. I just want to go in. What's this? Let's see what we got up here. Enter Glorious Springs. Okay. Okay, cool. So we have store, pub, stable, arms, gems, temple, barracks, palace, and park. Wow, whole lot of stuff. Okay, where's my... Oh, I guess I just click on different things. There's an important fact that has to be unveiled, misspelled, when the city is controlled by you. I guess you're supposed to control cities. That's kind of interesting. The Army of Sir Darkvale. Okay, I guess that's me. Okay, I think this is exit. Let's go to the pub. Okay, so it looks like we have a game here. I'm not sure what game we're playing, but if we're playing Blackjack, I will... Nope. Apparently not. Sorry you lost. Okay. Alright. Sorry, you have more than 21. So it is a Blackjack type game. Alright, but you have to get one. And now I want to stand. Sorry you lost. Why is it that I'm losing if the dealer is getting more? Assuming that the dealer is doing that. Alright. Sorry, okay. Oh, I see what the deal is. It's not, That's weird. Okay. Alright, this is kind of weird. Alright. Let's go to the store. Milk, cheese, wheat, salad. Wow. Interesting. So you can buy cargo. Milk, cheese, wheat, salad, apples, pork, ham. Wow. Okay. I don't own anything. I have, so this is just like a grocery store. Your money, 750 price. There, I don't need to buy milk and cheese, I don't think. Let's go out of here. Stable. You can buy 2 horses or a wagon. They misspelled wagon too. Ugh. That's always rough seeing, misspellings in games. It's like, ugh. This was released that way. Arms. Okay, let's see what arms has. So number of shields with, or number of soldiers with, sorry, shield, weapon, and extras. Number of soldiers without. Well, that's interesting because price for 1 soldier. Don't I have infantry here? Let's see what we got here. Oh wow, that's a lot of money. I don't have nearly enough money for that. Gems. Let's see what's over here. Oh, it's the building, I guess. The jeweler. Okay, so I can buy iron, diamonds, nitrile, gold, and silver. I'm guessing it's more like wanting to sell. Barracks. The guards won't let you pass. Okay. Palace. You have no access to the palace because you don't own this city. Park. Soldiers, 100%. Interesting. So I don't know if you're training. Not sure what we're doing here. Interesting. Do you know this is a... Oh, okay. That's kind of cool. So we can... Oh, interesting. So you can get human soldiers versus elven soldiers. That's kind of interesting. So you can get dwarven. Let's see. Okay. So you can hire dudes. Okay, that's kind of cool. Seems kind of an odd place to hire them, but all right. Let's exit out of the place here. How do we do that? No. Let's see what that is. Editor. That's interesting. Whoa. So I guess it's like you can make a scroll. That's kind of interesting. A text editor. What's this? This is the city of Descendor. Okay. Wow. All right. Interesting. Okay. Let's get out of here. How does one leave? Aha. Leave Glorious Springs. Sure. Sounds great. Oh, wow. Attention. Next month, you've to pay $690, but you've only $60. All right. So in other words, I'm poor. Fine. Let's see. Can I go over here? Okay. Oh, wow. There's a whole lot of cities and stuff here. Fight for your crown. Uh-oh. Oh boy, this is going to be bad. Your army versus artillery. Let's see. I'm the mighty prince. Go home to your wife's kitchen and help her cooking. I pay you 1,000 if you let me go. I think that's what I just said, and I don't want that. Let's see. No, I don't want to do that. So, fight. Interesting. So I'm adding these. Yeah, this one probably needs a manual. Sorry, you've lost. Yeah, I kind of figured that would happen. You lost everything except your wagons. They didn't want my wagons, apparently. Oh, okay. I still am in the game. That's interesting. You're standing in front of Macnep's castle. No, I don't want to attack. So this is randomly generated, I believe. So that's kind of neat. Let's see. All these castles were supposed to be attacking them, apparently. Fight for your crown. I don't think I have any soldiers. Sorry, you've lost. Yeah, because I don't have anything except my wagons. Okay, so I have wagons. All right, that's probably good for that. Definitely interesting. I like the graphics. The music is good. I think truly probably looking up a manual to try to figure out exactly what I'm supposed to be doing is cool. Yeah, it looks like, you're trying to kind of conquer the world kind of thing, which is, yeah, it's kind of neat. All right. Let's get back to the chat. Okay. All right. Archer McLean wrote IK Plus. Oh, okay, cool. Thanks. I wasn't sure who made it. Castardo, welcome to the stream. Appreciate it. Evening. So let's see. We got, Rings of Medusa was written by demo coders IRC. Yeah, it does look beautiful. Mad Max made the music. Jochen Hippel, who did a lot of music for games / demo scene. Okay, that explains why the actual music is actually pretty good. It's a very German game. The manual is probably 200 pages. Wow. Okay. Yeah, so I mean, it looks definitely cool, but it definitely has some complexity to it. Okay. Got to go in a minute. Real shame to miss the big event at the end. I was hoping to get my 15 minutes of fame. Sorry, you couldn't make it to the end. Great stream at Mission Impossible. Thanks. I have followed you on Twitter. I know a lot of people are, I'm guessing that's your account, Jonathon. I've been playing the new game all day and just, making sure it looks all good and everything. And I'm really impressed with it. Sorry you can stay. I know it's probably getting late for you. But thanks for joining. Definitely. Okay. And thanks for following me on Twitter. And if anyone else would like to follow me on Twitter, you can actually see my account information when I'm switching between games. But it's Mission Ed Poss on Twitter, and Mission Ed Possible on everything else. So Facebook and Instagram. Okay, bye all. Bye Grid. Bye. Okay, so good work, by the way. Yep, cool. All right, yes, definitely good work. Okay, let's move on. Rings of Medusa. I'm really that's kind of piqued my interest on the I don't know if I want to read 200 pages worth of manual, but on Rings of Medusa, it's pretty cool. I mean, most games, we've talked about this before, but most games back in the day didn't have that much complexity. And it is nice to see it when there's quite a bit of complexity there. So it seems like more, I guess almost like just a real-time strategy-ish kind of game, but it doesn't follow the standard RTS pattern. So, which again is always kind of neat. Okay. Let us go to the next one. Okay. Next up is Orc. So one of the things I find myself doing when I'm going through these games is I pick games and a lot of times I pick them randomly just so I don't kind of skew the what I'm picking. I kind of do a mix. But one of the things that's funny is I always pick Psygnosis games, and it's so funny because you can just you can see an image like this and go, oh yeah, that's a Psygnosis game. I don't know what the deal is with their art, but all the games had a certain style to them that was very cool, very almost kind of creepy-ish, but cool. I don't know. And the font is always, it has a very distinct look to all of their games. This is no different. But I find myself, I was going to pick like 2 or 3 Psygnosis games, but I'm like, nah, let's kind of limit one per stream. And always the font they use is interesting. Interesting. So that's soundtracked. Yeah. Okay, cool. I know that was, wow, that's cool. I don't know if I've actually, to be honest, I don't know if I've heard Soundtracker stuff used much in games. I know a lot of those originated on the Amiga, which this is probably no different, especially all the Psygnosis games. Yeah, it's got that Soundtracker sound to it, which is really awesome. All right, let's see what we got here. So, oh wow, that's fast. Okay, so a platform game with a crazy looking creature. Yeah, the guys that make the Psygnosis games, I don't know, man. They all have a very similar feel to them. Like they look cool. Don't get me wrong, but it's just like you could just see this without knowing who made it. Like without having any prior knowledge, and go, oh yeah, that's the Psygnosis game. I know it. Ouch. It's just, yeah, it just has this definite art style to it. Wait a minute, he can shoot me, but I can't shoot him? That's lame. It's kind of an interesting background sound of, it's kind of got this sound going on it's kind of different. Let me turn that up a little bit. Pay toll. Okay. How do I pay the toll? Interesting. Do I... Huh. Oh, interesting. So that does have an inventory screen. Hit the space bar to get that. I'm guessing I have to have something to be able to do that. I guess I can't get there. So it's like a troll looking guy. Okay, whatever. Okay. I don't think I can get up there. Okay. Cool sound effects. Obviously cool graphics. Yeah, I know all the games they made were just, they always really prided themselves on making good graphics. That's a ways down. I think the one issue I have with this game is the color palette. It's very beige. And I'm not sure if they were dealing with limitations. Ooh, we got a key. That's nice. Maybe that's what I need to be able to get past the level. Ouch. Ouch. Nice little spiky dude. It's kind of like on Spiky Dude. Reminds me of like Mario's things. Apparently I can't shoot them, or I guess I do and they kind of chill out, but they don't get destroyed. These guys are kind of weird. They're kind of... Can I climb up that? Apparently not. Guess I can't hurt those guys. Weird. Okay. Gotta do this climb up, up. Ah, it's gonna hurt. Ouch! Okay, let's try again. No! Can I duck? No, can't duck. Wow. That's rough. Alright, try again. Let's see if I can get all the way up here. No! Bad. Oh, I guess if I shoot them from the front, I can destroy them. That sucks, I can't duck. sound effects for like destroying stuff is really pretty awesome. Okay, let's try if I can get up this. At least I don't fall all the way to the bottom. Ouch. I am not the best at platform games, that's for sure. Oops. Yeah. Case in point. All right. All right. That's probably enough of that. That was Orc by Signosis. So it has refuelable jet boosters. That's cool. I think you have to find those somewhere. But yeah, the art is always just so trippy for Signosis games. Let's see. All right, and get back up here. I just followed you on Twitter too. Thank you, Gary Pinkett. Appreciate it. Did Signosis do pteropods too? Absolutely. They did pteropods. So you can see, you're already seeing it. Let's see. Oh, cool. The cover art for pteropods keyed me off. It's surreal and gorgeous. Yeah. Their art is pretty much unparalleled from that time. This is pretty awesome. STE palette. Into the Vertical Blank. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. I'm not sure if it's the STE palette. I don't think it's STE required. I am using the STE, the STE in emulation, but not sure. Let's see. Yeah, I think this was standard STE. Signosis PlayStation era is definitely my favorite. A lot of their 16-bit titles leave me lukewarm. Bloody Up for Jump. Sorry. I was jumping, but yeah, I was not jumping very well. I'm sorry. Into the Virgo Blank. The all sort of green/brown foreground would happen when they ported back from the Amiga and never tried to mimic the second Amiga 16 color plane. Orc still looks pretty fun. Yeah, it's not bad. So one of the things that, I am dyed-in-the-wool Atari guy. I had friends with Commodores and, on the wrong side of the tracks and all that. But I gotta say, looking at some of the ST titles and then seeing kind of the stuff on the Amiga, I have to say that I'm a little Amiga curious, if you will, just because it would be interesting to see how the other half lived. I know that's a, it's, I'm sorry, but, to my Atarians, but, it's one of those things that it's frustrating when you see that, oh yeah, this was much better on the Amiga. Oh, this is much better on the Amiga. This is much better on the Amiga. Just even the other day, I was watching there was a video, or I guess it was yesterday, of the guy that did the low budget whatchamacallit, Another World intro, and I'm like listening to it because I have played that game so many times, and I'm listening and I'm going, the music's a little different. Oh yeah, the Amiga version. Sigh. So it's eventually I'll probably check out Amiga stuff, but yeah, sorry. I mean, having to push up to jump is annoying. Yeah, I mean, only having one button is kind of hard. Yeah, better to have a better separate button for jump. Yep. I wasn't criticizing. What's funny is we've had streams in the past where I didn't know exactly what I was doing, and people were like screaming at me to hit the jump button. So I'm like, what? And it happened to be the space bar. And I'm like going, I never had to do a space bar in games before. And I apparently in Europe, I guess you guys really liked a different type of joystick that had the, I can't remember the name of them, but they had the suction cups on the bottom. So you could actually play with the controller just stationary and then be able to use the space bar. That's always been weird to me. Now, the good thing is, because I'm using emulation, I was actually able to map the space bar to another button, which makes things so much better. Don't worry, there are many games that are better on the ST as well. it'd be really interesting. I'd like to do some comparisons of some of the Amigas and the STs, and especially if we could show some games that are better on the ST than they were on the Amiga or anything else. If you guys have any ideas, definitely leave me a comment. I would love to be able to do a video on that, just because, to be honest, the ST doesn't get as much love as the Amiga. I mean, a lot of people, they go, oh yeah, well the Amiga, blah, blah, blah. It's like, but the Atari was out there too. And it was cool. It was a lot cheaper and it was fun. So yeah, it would be really cool to do show a video where, the ST game is actually better than the Amiga. Also exclusives, which I know there's about a handful of them. Anyway, okay. Appreciate all the comments. Let's go on to an old favorite, and that is Joust. Typically what I like to do with a lot of these streams is I like to do exclusives or games that you normally don't see, but I have a special place in my heart for Joust. I loved it in the arcade. And it's one of those things that I have played it on like every platform, at least every Atari platform, that it's come out on. For me, it's always interesting to see, what's all involved with it. So, and like how well they do as a conversion and stuff. So something that's cool is this was released, I know, by Atari. And it's kind of cool for me to see the actual original box, which Atari didn't make a lot of games for the ST. I know they made this, Battle Zone, a few others I know, but it was very early on. One of the other things that's interesting is the use with all Atari ST computers with a 5 1/4 floppy. That's kind of an odd thing there, but I believe that's the original box art. Definitely correct me if I'm wrong. If I look around for original box art for this stuff, just because I really like to be able to show the originals. Sometimes I have to settle for an Amiga version. And I don't want to, but sometimes I'd rather have that than no box art. So you had to 1 or 2 for 1 player, 2 player. So I was playing this quite a bit earlier just to test it out. One of the things that's interesting, and I'm pretty sure that it was probably like this in the original, there's some slowdown. And I don't know if it was, the emulation. I don't think it's the emulator. I think it was actually the game itself. Definitely let me know if it's better on the real thing. One of the things I also noticed about this, while the graphics are pretty close to the arcade, it's a little desaturated, I guess. Few things that stand out to me. One, the eggs, the physics on the eggs are very odd. They bounce really like a lot. Another one is it's a lot easier than the arcade. The buzzards don't really fly around too fast. Oh, I love that when they can hit that. They're just cruising along. This is like it reminds me of the kid mode on the 2600. The arcade version is much, much harder. And I was just playing this for a while, and it's just like, this kind of game I have to watch out when we're playing on stream, because I can just sit here and play it for hours. And it's like, especially if they go this slow. I mean, that's one of the gray dudes. They're supposed to be like faster. They're just cruising along. Just do, which is very, very odd to me. It's just like, and they like just go up and down. They don't go side to side much. They're like in first gear or something. It's weird. And then I've died, of course. After all that smack talk, proof is in the pudding here. All right, come on. All right. Probably don't need to spend a lot of time on this. I think most people know Joust. It's actually not a bad conversion. It has the same feel. Yeah, the eggs, the way they drop is kind of crazy. They bounce and bounce and bounce and bounce. Oh, that's kind of weird. The bouncy sound is definitely different. They're just like on slow motion. It's weird. I know this was an early title. Wow, it's so weird. The sound effect for the bouncing is totally different. And in any case, that game is over. That was Joust. I'm sure you guys have seen Joust before, but I wanted to show it off for the Atari ST version. It's it's pretty close to the original, the arcade game, but the slowness of these guys. I mean, it's the game. I mean, you're much faster than these guys. It's they're just not very fast at all. One of the other things is that I noticed that, and I don't think it's this way in the. I don't think it's the emulation. Sorry. There's some flickering on the bad guys, which is actually on the main character as well. Which it's not doing it with the background, so I think it's just in the game. In any case, that was Joust. Okay. Alrighty. Let's see. All right. Well, we didn't like those crappy joysticks with suction cups for a time. There was nothing better. That's funny because I remember. So I was talking to a European guy and he was talking about like, oh yeah, that's what we preferred. And for me, it was always about the Wiko joysticks, the command control bat handle joysticks, the ones that are made out of steel, the things that will probably last forever. So it was always odd to me, like the suction cup thing is, it was always, you had to hold it with both hands. We're Amiga curious too, and can appreciate some of the later games that really took advantage of the specs. But when the ST was pushed, it was pretty freaking awesome. And I think that kind of, case in point, when we get to the ST E version of the Lotus Esprit game, that, definitely is one of those things that when they actually took advantage of the hardware, I think is where it definitely could shine. Let's see. I've only recently found love for the Amiga. I was an ST owner in my teens as well in my 20s. I couldn't afford to upgrade to the PC or otherwise. Yeah, I mean, for me, I didn't really have exposure to the Amigas. I had one friend that had one, but I had lots of other friends that had STs. So it was like I wanted an ST. It was always that was the camp I was in. I was predestined to be an Atari guy. But I see a charm and appeal in all computers and consoles. Yep, absolutely. I definitely. I try to appreciate things for what they are and what they brought to the table. For me, it would be really interesting just to see on the Amiga and how they did things. Is this a PAL image? That could explain the lack of speed. Well, I don't think so. I mean, it very well could be. Just to let you know, for those in the know, I am using the Putnik hard drive images. The issue is normally I don't have much of an issue. I don't think that it's a slowness issue or rather, I don't think it's a PAL issue, or PAL NTSC, just because, your character goes much faster than the other ones. I truly think it's the game. And I think that it's, just that it was, very early on. But keep in mind that, the Putnik images are a lot of times PAL. So it's quite possible. And if you guys know if it is, I can definitely try to find the NTSC version, but, I really like using the hard drive images just because it's one, they remove the crack throws, which drive me crazy. And, especially for a stream, there's a lot of bad words in there and stuff. It's like, I don't really want to show that. And, two, that they just automatically run and I don't have any issues. Well, they automatically run if you set up the desktop file. Let's see. Joust was one of the first games I got from my ST. Oh yeah. Gunstick. Welcome to the stream. You said, you're late. Yeah, it's fine. You'll be able to catch up, real fast. Joust was one of the first games I got from my ST. Yeah, I don't think I actually ever had it, or if I did, it was kind of like at that point I had moved on. I didn't really. It was too, like, Joust was still in the arcades. It was still a common thing. So I was like, whatever. I don't really care about Joust. But now as I get older, I tend to appreciate them. Let's see. I think you can choose expert mode, not novice, to speed it up. Yeah, that's possible. I didn't see any codes for that, or rather I didn't see anything on the screen for that. It's quite possible that there was a hidden button on there. Let's see. Yep. Early 87. This was out. Yep. I knew it was a really early game. Okay, Gary, I got to go. The missus wants to watch a film with me. This was really fun. Thank you. Thank you for joining. I really appreciate it, Gary. I hope to see you in the next one. It's definitely a lot of fun, especially talking with all you guys. I've been out of the ST scene for a long time, and it's just really cool to be able to talk to people that know the history and the struggle. Okay. Castardo, bye, Gary. Have a nice evening, mate. Okay, cool. Let's get on to the next game. Okay. So one of the things when I started doing these, that I didn't realize or I didn't think about, is the fact that soccer games were a really big thing, especially for the more predominantly European audience that the ST was obviously really big in. So for me, as an American, soccer isn't really part of my culture, but my kids played soccer and stuff, and it was definitely a thing. But I didn't realize how many soccer games were actually released for the ST. And this was apparently, Kickoff 2 was apparently one of the better soccer games. So I wanted to try it out. I tried out Sensible Soccer last time, and it was pretty decent. I've had different experiences with them. So we'll see how it goes. I'm going to try doing a practice game. Let's see, 1 player, and I get to choose my team and stuff, and I have no idea what I'm doing there. So a practice game. So I don't think that the other player plays against me. Wow. Okay. Which is kind of nice, just for practice. I'll play a game in a minute. Wow. Getting the controls down is a little interesting. Oh, okay. It's really hard to tell. The alternating green and light green helps to be able to get a little bit of context, but the way it moves around on the screen it's hard to kind of get perspective on where you're at. So this definitely looks like it's a lot more on the way of technical versus more arcadey. So this is kind of interesting. You can choose the corner which you're going to kick, which is kind of I played around with that a little bit before. This is another one where you actually have to hold on to the ball while you're going around, and that's not really my speed. It's always weird. It's like I try to pick different things and it doesn't always work. The whole idea of having to stick to the ball manually is kind of odd to me. I'm used to games where you just automatically hold on to the ball, and it's I gotta say it's hard. It's one of those things that, if you've played these games a lot, it's probably a lot easier. All right. So let's see. Can I exit out? Oops. All I'm doing is corner kicks because I keep knocking it out of bounds. Yeah, again. So yeah, this actually seems pretty similar to Sensible Soccer in the same way of having to stick to the ball. To be honest, out of all these, I think I still prefer the Micro Soccer because, for one, the graphics look better. It may be not as technical, but the fact that you stick to the ball, and it does a little bit better, I think, than what's the last one? Sensible Soccer. It sticks a little bit better than that one, but yeah. In any case, probably don't need to see more of that. But okay, let's see what we got here. All right. So have you played this before? No. There's definitely a learning curve to this game. Yeah, I played a little bit, but yeah, definitely not my forte. Best soccer style game is Speedball. Okay, good to know. I will have to add that to the list. Kickoff rocks, but for a novice player, Micro Soccer will be much more fun. Yeah, I definitely noticed that Micro Soccer was a lot more fun. This seems a lot more technical, and I mean, it's good if you're into soccer games, I guess. But I was kind of going by trying to find games that are more popular, or like trying to find the best games, since I never really had these games, so I don't know a lot about them. So I was trying to kind of see, it's like, okay, what is considered one of the better ones? So I wanted to check it out. Okay. Let's go with the next one. So Ivanhoe. Oh, it's right on it. Or close to it. So this one's kind of interesting. I checked it out a couple times. Reminded me of like Golden Axe kind of a game, but the graphics on it are definitely interesting in that it they have a lot of these like kind of not really cut scenes, but the screens like this kind of stuff, which is it's kind of neat, kind of cool animation. You must deliver, King Richard. Okay. And it blinks several times. I think it's the loading light isn't going off, but okay. So spacebar does not do anything. I always got to check that now. Every game I play, I always have to check. So it's kind of interesting, the blocking, the shield. If I move and I just, if I don't hit the button, it doesn't do anything. It just moves the shield around, which is kind of an interesting play mechanic. Again, a lot of these things, they had to do certain, I guess I have to kill them? Weird. They have to do certain things to be able to get by with one button. Oh, I died. Which, man, it sucks that people didn't, no one had the foresight to add a second button, at least one, one extra would have been really helpful. Oh, I got a thing. Maybe, is that a better shield? Looks like, oh yeah, that's cool. Got a better shield. Well done, let's go. So the graphics look really good. I do have a issue with the how much the fact that there's not a lot of contrast between the character and the background. But the actual graphics are pretty good. I just wish they would have maybe made it so that you can see your character better. You can see the bad guys really well, pretty well. But like the fact that your character kind of blends in with the background, and that's unfortunate. The animation is very quick. It's a little fast for me, but it's getting a little crazy. It's like it needs more frames of animation to really convey what they're trying to do here. The doing the shield thing is kind of neat, though, I gotta say. It's weird. So it's like if I stop and then I hit like up, then it does the shield. It's very odd. So it's got like multiple states kind of thing, which is a little confusing, to be honest, when you're kind of cruising along and you're like trying to move and you stop and then you can't move anymore. It's a little odd. Well done, let's go. Weird. I guess it's supposed to do that. That's kind of crazy. It's way too fast. That's I mean, that almost looks glitchy. Did I get it? I don't know if I did or not. Oof. I love the detail on the characters, though. His hair and stuff is pretty neat. The fact that it's actually a big character is nice. A lot of these games, the character is really small. Game over. That's kind of neat. It definitely has kind of a neat feel to it. The animation is a bit jarring to me. The graphics are really cool. Unfortunately, I feel like there are some things in there that make it so it's not as good as it could be, which is pretty usual. But you know, as far as like, I would classify it kind of as a beat 'em up, I guess, kind of like a Golden Axe or Double Dragon kind of thing. But it's not bad. Not great, but it's not bad. Okay, let's see what we got here. What interface are you playing these on? Actually, this is it's on emulator. It's actually on the Steam, STEEM. A lot of, it's funny, as I was talking to my daughter the other day, and I was explaining, that I was using Steam and explaining what Steam was, and she's like, "You think people don't know what Steam is?" I'm like, yes, it's STEEM, not STE or STEAM. Big difference. So I'm using Steam, the Steven Seagal edition, SSE. It looked like there was some glitching going on. I'm not sure if it was the emulation or not. Some of these games, it's kind of hard to tell unless I have the physical hardware. I haven't had the physical hardware in a while. It's one of those things that I'm resisting the urge to buy an ST again. But I've been seeing all these people buying, or all these Falcons going for stupid, crazy money, and be like, "Oh, that would be really nice to get a Falcon," but I don't really want to spend $2,000 on one. Let's see. Well, I'm off as well. Good night, all. Good night, Castardo. Thank you for joining. I really appreciate it. Hope to see you in one of the next ones. Okay, so let's get on with the show here. Okay. The New Zealand story is next. So I know that was arcade conversion. And played it a little bit to check it out, make sure it worked. definitely has kind of a a Bubble Bobble feel to me. Just the Taito, I guess, games. The music and everything, very reminiscent of Bubble Bobble, which is probably no accident. It's cute. This is definitely, I know it was an arcade one. I think that's bad. I don't think I want to grab that. Let me try it. Yep, I thought so. It looked bad, but I wanted to try it. Just curiosity. Yeah. To me, this seems like a Bubble Bobble, but in platform game mode. Help me. Okay. Hurry up. Okay, sorry. Gotta get the fruit. Cool. I saved the other chick, whatever. I don't know if it's supposed to be a kiwi bird, but I don't think kiwis look like that, so I'm not sure. Definitely would be nice to know if someone knows what it's supposed to be. Okay. Ah! Ouch. Wow, it just keeps coming. Oh, weird. Nice. Nice balloon there. Ah! Man, I really hate it when games have to, like, you have a time limit that is, trying to get there. At least I'm close to the end there. Right. Trying to see what I'm trying to do there. So yeah, that's what a kiwi bird looks like. So this is not a kiwi. Okay. Ah! Oh, weird. So I can, like, ride the... I don't know what that is. It's like a nut or something. It looks weird. The top of the kiwis. Maybe it's a kiwi bird that's a baby. That might be what it is. A kiwi bird chick, maybe? Yeah, obviously, if you know what it is, definitely let me know. Okay. That's one of those definitely would be cool to actually play the original arcade. A lot of times when I don't like to play a lot of the arcade translations or ports, I guess, just because if that's the case, I'd rather just play the original. And eventually I plan on doing some live streams of arcade games, but I think that YouTube's so full of those kind of things that I think that giving some love to the Atari ST stuff is probably time better well spent. I guess that's why you say that. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Emulators are good enough that glitches are the same on real machines. Yeah, that's the thing. At first I'm like going, when I'm like playing it, I'm like going, is this? At first I think maybe it's the emulator, and it's like, well, no, not necessarily, because I remember some of the games that they did have glitches too. So it's just kind of, that's the way the game was. So yeah, the emulator, I've found that at least with Steam, it's actually pretty good. I haven't really found many issues there. I suppose it looks like a kiwi, but it looks more like a duck. Kiwis don't have visible wings. Okay. Thank you, the DM. I have no idea. It looks, I don't know what it is. It's a baby bird of some sort. There's probably something online that says, oh yeah, let's see, it probably even says here, a kiwi, as a player controls Tiki, a kiwi, so I guess it is supposed to be a kiwi bird, a baby one, I guess, who must save his lover, interesting, and several of his other kiwi chick friends who have been kiwi now. I'm sorry, that's funny. Kiwi napped by a large blue leopard seal. The player has to navigate a scrolling maze-like level at the end of which they release one of Tiki's kiwi chick friends trapped in a cage. Okay. Cheops Equinox, thanks for joining. I love that tune. Yeah, it's good. I think I like it better than the Bubble Bobble theme, just because the Bubble Bobble one is good for like the first couple times you hear it, and then after a while you start for me at least, it starts burrowing into my brain, and it's just like, oh my God, if I have to hear Bubble Bobble, the theme, like, I think because it's just so repetitive. And I used to play it in the arcade a lot. And I've also played the ST conversion too. Okay. Let's get on with the show here. Okay. So we're coming up to Lotus Esprit Turbo Challenge. That's one of the games I wanted to feature this evening or today. If you guys haven't already, please be sure to hit the like on the video. I really appreciate it. Just every once in a while, I have to say it just to remind people. Okay, so what I want to do with this is I have two versions of the same game. So we have Lotus Esprit Turbo Challenge, which was the original game, came out in 1990. And then we have the STE version, which was, it's a, I don't know what you would call it. I guess a hack sounds kind of bad. It's not really a hack. It's more of a modification, remastering in a way. Jonathon Thomas, at Retro Racing on Twitter, as well as a couple other people, have modified the game to where it's better, and it needs to run on an STE. So the ST enhanced edition. So the STE actually had more capabilities with the blitter chip, as well as I believe some better audio capabilities. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to actually play the original one briefly, and then show the STE version kind of so you guys can get a side-by-side comparison. So I imagine a lot of the ST guys have been playing this game quite a bit recently, since it just got released yesterday by Jonathon, who was on the stream earlier. Appreciate you showing up, Jonathon. Sorry you weren't able to stay longer. And for me, never playing it in the past, there's a couple things that are kind of interesting to me. One, and so first of all, I'm playing the original one here. First of all, the fact that it is, so this is not one of the Putnik images. This is a actual with the crack throws and all. This is actually the disc image, since he doesn't have it converted, but not a big deal. The deal is that I don't know if it's this way in the real game, or rather on a real hardware or not. Definitely you guys let me know if it's just something in emulation, and if there's something I need to do with Steam. But one of the things I noticed is in the menus, or rather the menus and intro, the audio kind of glitches a little bit. Like that. And I have tried messing with it and could not make it stop. But now one of the things that's interesting is I didn't notice it in the game, like when you're playing the game. So like in this with the music, notice the music here. Well, this isn't actually the music. This is just playing the sound effects of the car. But we can switch between different songs. I think there's 5. Okay. So I'm just going to pick this one. yeah, the little glitching bits, I don't know. I'd love to hear what you guys thoughts on that. Okay, so this is kind of neat. The controls are kind of cool in that, and there's a couple different controls, but the idea is it actually is a manual transmission, which is kind of neat. You have to hit the button. It's forward to go to hit the gas, back to hit the brake, and you hit forward and the button, which you're normally pushing forward anyway, to change gears, to go up. If you want to go down and if you want to downshift, you push down in the button, which is kind of interesting. I don't think I've seen that in another game. So a couple things to keep in mind here. The things that I have noticed, and I would love it. It's too bad Jonathon wasn't here to explain all the differences. But a couple things. One, the background, the sky is very plain. Notice how it's like a light green. Another thing is there's no sound effects. There's no driving sound effects here while the music is going. So that's kind of frustrating. I mean, this is the way the original game was. But notice there's no glitching on the audio in the game. So definitely would be interested to know what's going on with that. So this is actually not a bad game as far as racing games go of the era. Not hearing the sound effects of the engine and stuff is it's not the greatest. Okay, so you get the idea. So what I really want to show is the new version. And so I took the box art and I added the STE on there, my mad Photoshop skills here. So I noticed that the menus and all that stuff is like identical as far as, I mean, not that, but the music and stuff right here, it does the same exact thing that the original did. Again, don't know if it's emulator or not. So, first off, the sound effects on the engine sound is better. This is different. It seems like it's got, you know, maybe a different instruments. Not exactly sure what the differences are there, but I do know, playing with the same music, so a couple things here. One, the background, as I was talking about, it has like the gradient in the background now, which is nice. Another thing that's huge is the fact that this is, I know, an emulator glitch. The movement of the cars is much cleaner, much smoother. I definitely noticed that because of the blitter. And the fact that there's the sound effects and the music, which is nice. This plays much better. One other thing that I noticed is that when I originally played this, I actually put it. I played it on this with the same settings that I play all the games with, and that is with STE 4 megs of RAM and TOS 1.62 and and 8 megahertz. Now, the one of the things that's nice is that this is actually running on at 16 megahertz. So I was able to actually do a lot better with the motion and everything. Now, one of the things I did notice in the 8 megahertz, with the 8 megahertz on mode, the default, I noticed there was a little bit of glitching in the road. And I could show it here, but I was kind of curious if that happens. I'm guessing it doesn't happen on the real hardware, but I'd definitely be interested to know. So I was like, I saw somebody mentioning it, that the 16 megahertz mode works really well. So I'm like, all right, let me try it out. And so I did. I set it up with 16 megahertz, and this starts getting going fast, which is really nice, without slowdown, which is a lot of the games, they couldn't handle this kind of speed. I mean, most games were not made for the higher end machines to be able to go 16 megahertz. So it's nice to be able to actually have a game that actually works in 16 megahertz. First place, yay! I'm awesome. I really liked the second course. I was like, oh, that's kind of neat. It's like the standard course, but I was like, okay, this is a pretty standard racing game. But on the second one, you got hills and like extreme turns and stuff, which is cool. Different course. It starts getting going crazy here. Whoa. See if I can get first again. Definitely seems like the difficulty's been scaled up here. Ah! I lost a lot of time there. Oh well. No chance now. I'm not sure why. That is definitely an emulator glitch. I've seen that in many games. Final lap. Only 6 places to make up here. Oh, that's not going to do it. Nope. Come on. My thumb's getting tired. Okay, 5th place. I could have had first if I hadn't crashed so many times. Likely story, I know. So there you have it. That's the STE version of Lotus Esprit Turbo Challenge. And it was primarily done by Jonathon Thomas, but there's a couple other guys. Unfortunately, it doesn't have it on in the game. It has it on the intro as I think there was 3 people. I can definitely add them to the description. But he is Retro Racing, or at Retro Racing on Twitter. Definitely check him out. So yeah, definitely a cool modification. It's always neat to me to see games that have been, that are so old, 1990, so that 31 years ago, and now having updates. That's just really cool to me. Okay, let's check out the chat here. Audio glitches. Could be emulator issues. I don't remember. Glitches might be the crack unpacking while showing the title. Maybe. Keops Equinox message retracted. Okay. White enemy cars can move horizontally per pixel in the STE version instead of something like every 16 pixels on the ST. It worked that way on ST to save memory / help frame rate. Yeah, that was one of the major things that I saw was the fact that the cars moved a lot smoother, which was definitely nice. Cool ST racing game is Vroom. Yes. I don't think I've covered Vroom yet. I definitely know that was one of the major ones. Yeah, I definitely, I really appreciate when people put in the time and effort to do something like this. Another game that I checked out that Jonathon worked on was Pole Position. And so apparently we didn't have an actual ST port of Pole Position, which was kind of surprising. The fact that I'm really surprised that Atari didn't put that out just because, oh no, we said a bad word. I think I'll show it. It's fine. What I was going to say is Pole Position. I actually looked at the video for it, the YouTube video, and it looked really good. I'm not sure why he didn't officially release it. I'd love to know more about that, but it's definitely one I'd love to focus on or rather showcase as well. Cool, guys. Well, that's what I wanted to show this evening. And I really appreciate you guys sticking around and hope you enjoyed it. For me, it's kind of cool seeing some of the games for the first time, as well as, some of the games that I used to play. And, when I started this, I thought that I had tons of games for the ST back in the day. And I found out that I did not. There was a ton of games out. You're fine into the vertical blank. It's fine. I try to keep it PG-ish, but ass is not a big deal. Pole Position is quite limited as a game. Yeah, of course. I mean, it was arcade game. It's just more of the idea of it. Is it going to compare to this? No, absolutely not. I mean, it's old, but the idea of doing a conversion of it is just cool. Let's see. Nice job. More of these. Like and subscribe, guys. Let me show it. I'm not sure why. I'm guessing because I had to approve one of them. That's weird. I'm still getting used to the moderator stuff in here on YouTube. Anyway, nice job. More of these. Like and subscribe, guys. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Trying to build a channel, and I'd love to do more of these. If people want to keep seeing them, I'll keep doing them. I just a little history. I am a tried and true Atari guy, and have been since, the 2600 days. And, so I really like to show a lot of the Atari stuff. And, I even have a Jaguar I'd like to show at some point. It would be cool to do a live stream of that. So in any case, thanks for stopping by, and enjoy the rest of your day, evening, wherever it happened to be, whatever part of the day it happens to be in your neck of the woods. All right. Until next time, see you in the next adventure.